Thank you, Lone. And as Lone said, it was actually Jonathan's idea. So, and he shakes his head, but it's right. That's how it is. I was asked to tell you a little about Gunnar Lomholt. I have heard about him before, only due to the psoriasis prevalence study. But apart from that, I didn't know anything. And he lived before the area of the internet. So it's not that easy. But let's move on. The Journal of EADV, they have these small articles where they interview famous dermatologists and ask them different things. Hans-Henning Grossmann is probably known to all of you, and he was in that article asked, who would you list as the 10 most influential dermatologists in history? And one of them was actually Gunnar Lomholt. So that's just to say that he has made some impression to the field of dermatologists. Well, he was born in Denmark in 1915 in Hellerup, that's north of Copenhagen. He graduated from the Metropolitan School, where my father also graduated from. And then he attended the medical degree during the Second World War in 1941. He was trained at Finsens Hospital, Kommunehospitalet and Rigshospitalet, where none of those hospitals have dermatology anymore. That's only situated in Bispebjerg and Gentofte, but he was trained there. And then, I don't know whether you can see this. I don't know where you can point. Yo, I can point here. This is the pedigree, and that what he's down here, his sister, Kirsten, I think it's Kirsten Augen, was married to Gunnar Augen, who was also a dermatologist. Their son, Svend Augen, was a very famous minister in Denmark. So there is actually connections to dermatologists there. Gunnar Lomholt, together with Gunnar Augen, they actually had a private practice in the center of Copenhagen from the 1950 or 1949, actually. Well, when I discovered that Gunnar Lomholt, he had actually really never worked as a dermatologist at a hospital setting. He was private practice, but I don't know how he got time to work at the private practice, because when you look through where he has never been in Denmark, approximately. It doesn't look like that. After the Second World War, he worked as a doctor for the Danish Red Cross in Poland, and he directed a dermatology clinic there in Gdansk. Then he got his tenure in Klaksvik in the Faroe Islands. That's, I think, that way, up there. And that's where he got the idea to look into psoriasis, because it was due to that he saw a lot of patients at that time. Then in 1958, he was posted in Greenland and took care of the prevalence of dermatovenerological diseases there. And in 1964, he was again posted in Greenland from the Danish Board of Health to regulate the venerological diseases at that time, and again in 1965. But that's just the start. Because as you can see here, he had a tour in India, Malaysia, Ethiopia, and Malawi in 1968. And from 1969 to 1973, he was actually an advisor to the Ugandan government. And held a position there as a consultant at Mulago Hospital. And you can just see what he did. The last year, in 1 year, he's treated 2,000 cases of syphilis, 40 cases of congenital syphilis, 1,000 cases of ulcus molle, and 30 cases of lymphogranuloma venereum. So he was quite experienced. After Uganda, he went to Tromsø, and became professor, and finally he moved to Sweden, close to Copenhagen, where he was a consultant. And again, after that, he took a position in Malawi from 1984 to 1987. This is just one of the only pictures I could find of him. That's the pictures that Lone also showed, where he was at the Kamutsu Central Hospital in Malawi, where he's standing in the middle, and that's a letter which was sent to him in Malawi. That's also on the internet. I don't know why, but I found it. So, well, he got the honorable he was honorable doctor at the University of Odense in '93, and I read through the why he got it, and that's some of the thing was listed there. This is just, I tried to look on how many, the publication and things like that. That's not easy when they are old. But psoriasis on the Faroe Islands is one of them. That was just published in ACTA, and it's only that which is actually the body of the thesis, but I will get back to you. One of the publications is quite interesting. I saw that it's Faroese in Greenland. I don't know what Faroese is, but it is it's a very severe fungal infection. We don't see that anymore. And this publication, but you do? Yeah. I don't see it in Denmark, but this he was, that was something he did when he kind of looked into what kind of diseases there was in Greenland. There are some pictures from the paper. So, and that was something he did in '58, where he discovered these and described 70 cases. Well, let's get back to what it's all about. This is the thesis. It's between 300 and 400 pages. It is actually next Tuesday. It's 60 years when he's defended it. The aim of the thesis was to elucidate the genetic features of psoriasis and clarify the prevalence and the natural cause when left untreated. And then he covered 2,341 households. And you can see over here, oh no, I can't use that. You can see over where, is there an arrow? No, it's here. So you can see he covered the northeastern part of the Faroe Islands, and that's covering about 1/3 of the population of the Faroe Islands. And he actually visited, as Lone told, every household. And if the men were out fishing, then he came back and or tried to discover whether they had psoriasis or not at all. This is just from the thesis, how many patients that he covered. And you can see in Klaksvik there are 2,600, and in other parts of Northern Ireland, 1,500, and Østerø around 7,000. So he covered around 11,000 of the 30,000 who lived in '48. So it's just after the Second World War, and he did the study over a half a year. This is just a picture from the thesis, where it's Mount Kuhnø, and it looks like typical, and it's the same clouds that you actually see today. So it looks like it. So, well, the prevalence. As you can see down, I don't know, where can we can't point? No. So you see down, he actually looked on each patient, and you see that he got a total patient around 312 patients with psoriasis, and it's exactly equivalent in the male and female with approximately a prevalence of 2.8. That's, pretty exact, and that's what we see now. And I don't know what it is actually now at the Faroe Islands, but the prevalence, that's something that you could believe in. And then that's when, at the age when the patient was seen, and as you can see, the box where there are stripes, that's anamnestic case. That's the patients that he didn't see, where he got it from their family and so on. So you can see the males, they were out fishing, some of them, but approximately all of the female patients he saw, but he got an impression that decided, and it's described in the thesis, when could he expect, or when is it trustworthy that they had psoriasis. So this was probably the population there. Another thing is that the treatments available, that was tar, UV light, and arsenic. So yeah, just interesting that they couldn't be treated with that much apart from that. Then another thing was that he just didn't only look on psoriasis, he looked on everything. And that is the prevalence. And something that is interesting is that atopic dermatitis, he only saw 17 cases out of 10,000 people. So that's a prevalence of 0.2. That's not that much. And for example, rosacea, 10 cases, scabies, only 8 cases, acne, 30 cases, and a little more than eczema. So a very few cases of atopic dermatitis. That's quite interesting. Then where he described comorbidities, and he explored only 4 cases of psoriatic arthritis. It's very well described when he defined the arthritis. So he had only 4 cases out of all these 300 cases with arthritis. He didn't, and another thing that he has a whole chapter on is that he described that psoriasis can be exacerbated by psychological trauma, but that was not something that was that prominent up here. And he found no cases of diabetes mellitus among patients with psoriasis. So no cases. This is just another picture. And calcoi, that's actually where James Bond died. Just as a bonus info. So for all of his cases, he did these pedigrees. So this is the pedigree for patient number 3. Yeah, it's an amazing job that he did. This is just the same family, and or pedigrees. So where you can follow all the patients, and you see this is just the extension of the same family. So it was quite a work, and he collected all the data during half a year, but it took him 15 years to actually get it published. But that's how it is. Well, I think that's about it. He passed away in 93, August 20. That's it.
Any questions? You? Thank you. This was precious. Did he look into the severity at the time?
He didn't. He did. But it was not, there's no table about how severe it was. So at that time, I don't think he hadn't developed any kind of systematic way to do it. So, but as you can see, there wasn't that much treatment. There was tar, UV light, and arsenic. So I think actually the spontaneous cause is that they had psoriasis. So, yeah. It is, the Faroe Islands after the Second World War, they lived on fish and lamb. And so the food was definitely different. So it might be something. And I couldn't see that much about their weight and things like that. So, yeah.
Great sleuthing, and the interesting thing is I actually looked up the Mayo Clinic to try to get his original thesis. Sadly, it was actually inactivated, removed from the archive, so I don't know where it went. But it would be interesting
we have that only one hard copy, so it could be done. Yeah.
Claus, thank you very much. A very interesting presentation. I have two questions. Do you know where he's buried?
No.
Maybe Claus.
Claus, do you know where he's buried?
I think he's buried in Aarhus.
In Aarhus?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I went to the tour.
Okay, yeah. Sven Auken, his nephew, who was a very famous minister, is also, he was from Aarhus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even though his father had they had the clinic in Banegårdsplads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now another question. Very interesting. No association between psychological stress and psoriasis. Do you have any elaboration on that?
No.
Did you get the chapter?
No. He's just said he interviewed them, and it wasn't that pronounced. It was something that was well known at that time in the early 60s, but he said that it wasn't that pronounced. So.
Really?
Claus, you showed the table with comorbid conditions, and you mentioned that atopic dermatitis was low there. But number 3 is neurodermatitis, which is the old German expression for atopic dermatitis.
Yes, yeah.
And atopic dermatitis, Besnier, was only the form where you have these papules that were very itchy, now more in prurigo form, according to our newer definition. So, in fact, the prevalence was a little bit higher of atopic dermatitis in this
Yeah.
investigation.
But the new dermatitis, do you think it's lichen sibilans chronicus? It's the same, or?
No, this is the old as well. There's a lot of words
Yeah.
to describe this
Yeah.
form of what we now call atopic dermatitis.
But he mentioned Besnier in the thesis. He named atopic dermatitis as the same as prurigo Besnier. So, yeah.
Yeah, a very nice talk. Very interested in many, many things. Do you have any clue as to why you became interested in psoriasis?
He wrote that he just discovered psoriasis when he was up here working as a general practitioner. And that's why he got the idea, why not look into that? It's in the foreword for his thesis that it was just, he was curious about the prevalence and how many actually had the disease. Yeah.
I do have another question. As I understand, the Faroe Islands are very remote, and people are married within the islands. Is there a higher prevalence of psoriasis in the Faroes as compared to Denmark?
Yeah, but 2.8%, that's pretty much the same as in Denmark, actually. So in Denmark, we are around 3%. So, no. But that's the data from 48. I don't know how it was in 48. But I know, isn't it true that the prevalence of psoriasis is actually inclining a very small extent, but not that much. Of course, it's higher up. It's more north.
So there's at least one misconception that I now know that is incorrect, because I thought the Faroese had higher prevalence of psoriasis, which is now the wrong idea that they had.
Yeah, and Greenland, it's not higher. It doesn't look as in Greenland but that's the Inuit population. That's something different.
So
So.